Your accumulated villain value has reached 5,000, and you have risen to the gold level villain, with plus 100 luck points. On the villain panel, a line of prompts appeared. Sumo's villain level has been upgraded. This time the upgrade is through the cumulative villain upgrade. Not gold finger. At present, the most advanced gold finger in Sumo's hands is still silver. Sumo pondered for a while, not in a hurry to incorporate the Lord system. Wait for this wave to push the new Moon Kingdom horizontally and upgrade the crit talent. He looked at his panel. Player. Sumo villain nickname, Phantom. Faction. Villain status. Count of the Crescent Kingdom, Count of the Crescent Kingdom, son of the Queen of the Crescent Moon. Level. Gold level, with a legendary gold finger, or the cumulative villain value reaches 50,000, you can upgrade to a legendary villain. 5,400 4,050th record, 27 airluck, 1,120. Gold finger. Not included. Warning distance, 5 kilometers. On the panel, other changes are not big, and the warning distance has been reduced again, and it has also been reduced by 5 times at one time, becoming 5 kilometers. The level has become gold, and the cumulative villain value has reached 5,400. Owned villain value reached 4,050. If the difference is 950, you can upgrade to a gold level gold finger. This gold finger, Sumo is naturally ready to increase the crit talent first. Gold level crit talent is enough to crit the protagonist and villain at 11. After watching it, Sumo went to the villain panel. Shi Wei. Look around the wild continent to see if there are other protagonists of this type. Sumo said to Shi Wei. The wild continent is even more savage. There are also many creatures that were born and whose single strength is extremely powerful. Like giants and dragons, these creatures are very powerful. Don't look at the new Moon Kingdom seems to be full of sanctuary. But actually, the entire new Moon Kingdom, the total number of sanctuaries, is just that. As far as Sumo knows, there are only a dozen or so. The number of legends is more, but not too many, not more than 100. There are more forbidden spells, and there should be hundreds of them. It sounds like a lot. But think about it, what is the population of the Crescent Kingdom? Over 1 billion people. Among the 100 million people, so many high-end combat powers have been cultivated. But there are some races, although the number is rare, but all of them are extremely powerful, just like giant dragons, adults are 6th order. Normal quality is high. Of course, a small number is also fatal. Yes, Master. Shi Wei respectfully said. Looking at the slender Shi Wei, Sumo touched her head. Although there is not much divine light in the wild continent, there are many powerful creatures here, you have to be careful. This action made Shi Wei blush. She was happy and very moved. Thank you Master for your concern, Shi Wei will pay attention. Shi Wei said. Okay, then I'm leaving. After Sumo finished speaking, he returned to the abyss through the passage. Then, all the way back to the castle. After passing through the space gate, he returned to the Holy See of the Crescent Moon. The Holy See headquarters has been very lively these days. People come and go. In the entire new Moon Kingdom, the Holy See has already started with all its strength. The current headquarters of the Holy See is very empty. Because most of the temple knights have already been sent out. The Queen of the Crescent Moon has also issued the Queen's secret order to let the local government fully cooperate with this operation. The scale of this operation will be unprecedented. Sumo sits at the headquarters of the Holy See and controls everything. The day before the official arrest, all the lists of suspected protagonists have been stuffed into the arrest list for this operation by Sumo. Now, everything is ready. Tomorrow morning is the time for the official arrest. This night, in the headquarters of the Holy See, Sumo did not sleep, but through the magic letters from various places, he learned about the situation of the operations in various places. This time, the Holy See dispatched 100,000 temple knights, a large number of magicians, and more local clergy. Queen Crescent has more people on her side, and there are hundreds of thousands of people who are assisting at the local level. This is all happening in secret, and although some protagonists have sensed that something is wrong in the atmosphere, they have not yet realized the crisis. Among the protagonists of the new moon, some protagonists are also arguing, preparing to leave the new Moon Kingdom. However, Since Sumo hasn't been doing anything recently, these protagonists are far from Wang again. In the absence of a crisis for the time being, the number of protagonists who have left these days is not particularly large. Many protagonists are still watching. Sleeping, worrying about so much is useless. The Earl of Moishi Land hasn't moved for the time being. I'll see if he has any moves. 9. Yeah, he is not omniscient and omnipotent. I don't believe that he can find us in such a big new moon kingdom. I saw someone in the group say that there are troops mobilizing in the local area, and it seems that they are going to arrest those who collude with the devil. It shouldn't have anything to do with us, right? Worry about it. What can it do? In a magic academy, several protagonists hiding here chatted for a while in a small group, and then went to sleep separately. Time passed little by little. The next day, the genius was bright. A small group of Templars rushed into the Magic Academy with a large number of warriors. No trespassing at the Magic Academy. 99 at the gate of the Magic Academy. The guards here tried to stop them. But a Temple Knight directly took out a token and an order signed by the Queen of the Crescent Moon. Those who were guarding had to get out of the way. Touch. A huge crash sounded. The door to the room was knocked open at once. Everyone sleeping inside was taken aback. What happened? The students inside sat up one after another and picked up their wands. Then, they saw that outside the door, several Temple Knights in enchanted armor rushed in. Who is Jerry? We suspect you are fornicating with demons. You have been arrested. Please come with us. As soon as these Temple Knights rushed in, they took out an arrest warrant and said, Jerry's? Several people in the room looked at Jerry's on a bed. This person is the protagonist hidden here. I was arrested. Why? Who are you? Who have the right to arrest me? The protagonist panicked. But after the Temple Knight confirmed his identity, he didn't give him a chance to speak at all and took him away. At the same time, several other protagonists in this Magic Academy were also taken away by different Temple Knights. Not just them. This morning, a mighty arrest operation began in all the cities in the entire New Moon Kingdom. This action, for Sumo, is a net closing action. He not only added the list of suspected protagonists to the arrest list by entraining private goods. These people are also designated as key care personnel. That is the first batch of people arrested. Although among those arrested, there must be many who are not the protagonists. But the number of protagonists is also quite a lot. Therefore, this morning, many of the protagonists of the New Moon Kingdom were arrested by the Temple Knights who broke into the door before they woke up. These protagonists have absolutely no idea what's going on. Want to resist? Naturally impossible. What's the matter? I was arrested by the Knights Templar 257, saying that I was fornicating with the devil. In the protagonist group, soon, there was a panicked voice of the protagonist. Me too, I was arrested too, what should I do? Another protagonist appeared right away. They were all caught almost at the same time. I was also arrested, but they said that as long as the situation was checked, they would let us back. Here comes the third protagonist. What's the matter? So many people were arrested. Damn, who? The fourth protagonist stopped in the middle of speaking, and it seemed that the person who arrested him had just gone. What happened? So many people were arrested. Don't scare me, you must be joking collectively, right? Among the protagonists of the New Moon Kingdom, a large number of protagonists appeared in an instant. Damn, I've been arrested too. We are finished. This is definitely the handwriting of the Earl of the Blackstone territory. We will be escorted to the Holy See headquarters. Do you think there is still a way to survive when we get there? A protagonist finally reacted. As soon as the protagonist's voice fell, the other protagonists in the group panicked. Brother Day. Don't scare people. Okay. Even if the Earl of Mo Shilling is a holy son, why does he arrest people on such a large scale? Isn't the reason for you to find out? The person who catches the fornicating devil, after you are caught, who is fornicating with the devil, it is not he who has the final say. I go. F***ck. Why should I stay and watch? It's over. I knew I left the New Moon Kingdom a few days ago, but I didn't expect the Earl of the Blackstone Land to be so cruel. I thought he wouldn't do anything in a short time. This is a dead ball. In that group of protagonists, a large number of protagonists were arrested, and there was mourning inside. Some of the protagonists who hid tightly and were lucky not to be caught were also trembling with fear, for fear that it would be their turn next. Soon, more and more protagonists were arrested. After some protagonists got the news, they wanted to escape, but it was too late. There are still some protagonists who hide tightly and are not in the list, so they are not caught. After these protagonists were arrested, they all panicked when they discussed in the group again. If they didn't watch the group, some protagonists thought they were caught by mistake. But seeing that so many protagonists have been arrested, no matter how stupid these protagonists are, they know that this arrest must be Sumo's handwriting. Along the way, they tried their best, such as shouting injustice and the like, to no avail. No Templar would listen to them at all. As for those who were really wronged, many would not shout. Because the Knights Templar had already told them that when they arrived at the Holy See, there would be magicians who would examine them. As long as they are okay, they can be put back. Everyone can also be compensated with 20 silver coins. Many people can't earn 20 silver coins a month. When they heard such a plan, they were so happy that they even asked the Temple Knights to capture all their brothers, sisters, wives, and children. Anyway, they didn't have a fornication with the devil. Wouldn't it be nice to take a wave of compensation? Therefore, these protagonists who shouted injustice along the way, and even said that Sumo framed them, became even more suspect. Some Temple Knights thought they were annoying and gagged them. There are also some protagonists who do not live in a fixed place, such as the ring flow, which is the most difficult to catch. The growth rate of the protagonist of the ring flow is actually not as good as that of the system flow or talent flow. Unless that ring's level is very high. But there is a big advantage that they have a strong life-saving ability in the early stage. I am afraid that there will not be many protagonists of the ring stream caught in this wave of closing the net. In this wave of New Moon Kingdom, the large-scale arrest of the protagonist also quickly spread to the protagonist forum. Attracted a large number of protagonists onlookers. On the protagonist forum, there are many hot events these days. For example, there is a protagonist of Ringstream who actually killed 10 villains in the past half a month, and also completed 10 kills. This guy posted a strategy on the forum, which attracted a lot of onlookers. For another example, the last time a protagonist of the New Moon Kingdom posted that post. This thread has been discussed relatively less, but there is still some concern. Now, seeing Sumo's sudden closing of the internet, it has attracted a lot of attention. I just said that the protagonists of the Crescent Moon Kingdom are worse, and I have persuaded them to leave the Crescent Moon Kingdom long ago. If they don't leave, who is to blame? Yeah. Let's barbecue now. The Earl of Moishi Land won't make a profit this time around? Absolutely. According to the protagonists of New Moon Kingdom who have not been arrested, more than 30 protagonists have been arrested so far. Hey. 30-somethings were caught so quickly, my god. Let the villain master the power of the kingdom level, it is not ordinary terrible. Don't say the villain. The protagonist masters the power of the kingdom, which is equally terrifying. This is simply a dimensionality reduction blow. On the forum, this matter quickly fermented and caused a large-scale heated discussion. Seeing the protagonist in the New Moon Kingdom, Sumo used the power of the entire kingdom to carry out a crushing blow. The interest of the protagonists to discuss is also high. While sighing that the Earl of Moshi Land is powerful, many protagonists also have some thoughts. Looking at it this way, we can't just focus on improving our strength, but also pay attention to the cultivation of power. It also depends on Gold Finger. Some Gold Fingers can improve their strength quickly, but it's not enough to cultivate their power. Yes, my strength is almost at the 4th rank. A guy the first no, Gold Finger, is actually a soft boiler system. He got the king's daughter and used the identity of the king's son-in-law to get a villain. That's okay too. Why am I just a bronze jerk? The protagonists have heated discussions. At this stage, the struggle between the protagonist and the villain has begun to become fierce. Every day, many protagonists are killed, and every day there are news of villains being killed. Now the villain is killed, still a minority, most of the news is still the protagonist killed. The protagonists are more disadvantaged in the early stage, but they also have great advantages. For example, the protagonist kills the villain and gets more luck than the villain. Another example, the protagonist's Gold Finger is almost equivalent to tailor-made for them, as long as they use it well, everyone will grow very fast. However, like the New Moon Kingdom, Sumo unleashed the power of the kingdom, and in a short period of time, more than 30 protagonists were secured. This number is still rising. This has never happened before. When it was posted on the forum, some of the protagonists who fought alone started to think, and they also wanted to learn from Sumo and use the power of the kingdom. Some of the protagonists' Goldfinger are born with advantages in this regard. Just like that Lance, in terms of personal strength, he is not even comparable to the protagonist of the Sweeping Monk style. But this guy can easily get into the core position of the Holy See with his own magic stick system. If he really made him a red-clothed archbishop, the situation in the New Moon Kingdom would be one-sided again. In the New Moon Kingdom, those who complain so much will become those villains. It is foreseeable that this time, Sumo's generous efforts will bring some new changes to the game. Why did they find me so accurately? Even the Magic Academy dare not protect me. The timing of the Earl of the Blackstone territory is too good. Just after the demon invasion, I heard that there are demons making troubles everywhere recently. He used the excuse of fornicating demons and promised to compensate those who were caught by mistake. The Magic Academy will definitely not. You will be saved. Damn it. The legendary teacher I worship also went to the capital. I hope you can save me. Statistically, how many people have been arrested? In the New Moon protagonist group, it became more and more lively. The protagonists who were arrested were shouting and yelling, trying to find a way for them. Those who were not caught were also uneasy and did not dare to stay where they were. They all fled the city and prepared to leave the New Moon Kingdom. However, soon, the protagonist is calling. What's the matter? I was also caught. If you haven't been caught, don't run away. They have eyeliner, and they will be discovered as soon as they escape. A protagonist who was about to escape happened to be discovered by Sumo's people, and then Sumo's people reported suspicious persons to a temple knight, and the protagonist was caught sadly. This is just a coincidence, or there are protagonists who escaped and have not been found. This large-scale arrest operation also alarmed other villains in the New Moon Kingdom. In the villain forum, it also caused a lot of discussion. Brother Mo, congratulations on getting 10 kills. Brother Mo is mighty, and the Earl of the Blackstone land is only temporarily ahead. It will be a matter of time before Brother Mo surpasses him. In a villain group, many villains are complimenting a gold-level villain. That is, Brother Mo, who has a huge assassin organization. This guy just finished 10 kills. After completing 10 kills, in more than 10 days, when the record list is refreshed, he will be able to enter the record list. Brother Mo couldn't help being a little proud. Although there is still some distance from the 20 kills of the Earl of Moshi, but after he got the gold finger of the protagonists, his strength is getting stronger and stronger. His luck has long been reversed by him. I'm going. Everyone, look at the forum. There is a villain who said that in the New Moon Kingdom, the Earl of Moshi land made a big move. At this time, a villain appeared. When the other villains heard the news that it was the Earl of Moshi land, they followed suit. Looking at it, these villains were a little surprised. Brother Mo also went to see it. Seeing this, he was still complacent just now. He lost the slightest sense of accomplishment in an instant. Hey! The handwriting of the Earl of Moshiling is big enough. According to the information gathered by the villains in the New Moon Kingdom, the Earl of the Blackstone land is likely to capture dozens of protagonists this time. 99. Cow. I didn't expect it would be so cool to use the power of the kingdom level. I'll find a way to get the king's daughter. And the most crucial Holy See. In the villain group, many villains were shocked. Compared with the handwriting of the Earl of the Blackstone land, the way they deal with the protagonist, it's like playing a family. People directly controlled a kingdom, and even the Holy See was tightly controlled. Then use the power of the kingdom to launch a dimensionality reduction strike. Under such a blow, at this stage, as long as the protagonist is discovered, no protagonist can escape. Caught dozens of protagonists at one time. Over time, more will surely be caught. This also made these villains move their minds one by one. Want to emulate Sumo. However, they want to follow suit. How can it be so simple? Just controlling the Holy See is extremely difficult for ordinary villains. They simply don't know what Sumo's real whole card is. This time the Earl of Moshi land is stronger. We have to find a way to bypass him. Don't scare me too big guys, I'm just a bronze level rubbish, and I haven't simulated that step yet. It would be so tragic if our way was blocked by the Earl of the Blackstone territory. Let's try to get around him together. Otherwise, we will grow up in the future. Hundreds of us joined forces to make him. Easy to put it. Why do I feel more like a group giveaway? Crazy. The commotion in the New Moon Kingdom also made the atmosphere in the emulator Protagonist group with several hundred people heavy. After the Gold Simulator Protagonist and several Silver Simulator Protagonists said the situation inside, the other emulator protagonists were also worried one by one. Their simulator level is not high now, and they are often lost if they can't get in touch with the Earl of the Blackstone land, but they may grow up in the future. Thinking that no matter how you grow up in the future, all the way will be blocked by the Earl of Moshi land. These simulator protagonists are in a very bad mood. When the forum between the protagonist and the villain is very lively. In the Crescent Holy See, a steady stream of suspicious people have been sent over. It's too easy for Sumo to know who the main character is. These people were taken to special places and interrogated by magicians. Soon, many people were released directly, and after 20 silver coins were issued to them, these people would be sent back to the place where they lived. Sumo identifies the protagonist through the villain panel. After identifying it, Sumo will have some Templar Knights to keep these protagonists in solitary confinement. In the end, in one day, more than a dozen protagonists were identified. There are still many protagonists on the way. Sumo didn't give the dozen or so protagonists a chance to speak, and directly made them faint. All bronze. Sumo whispers. Although the number of these protagonists is quite large, basically, they are all bronze rank. There is no silver grade. The protagonists are the lowest, they should all be bronze rank, and the villains have the lowest black iron rank, but there are not many. Black iron villains. Some protagonists have grown up a little, and it is estimated that they can be used to practice. After Sumo directly solved 10 protagonists, he spent 5,000 protagonist points, and directly raised his crit talent to the gold level. Your crit talent has been upgraded to the gold level, you become the first villain with a gold level gold finger, and you get a villain value of 200. On the villain panel, a prompt appears. The crit talent has reached the gold level. Critical talent, gold finger, gold level, can be 3 to 10 times the crit, and the crit villain value is half of the normal harvest. After the crit talent reaches the gold level, the harvest will be much greater. You kill a bronze level villain, get the villain value plus 200, 2 times the crit, and get the luck value of 20, 2 times the crit. When killing a bronze level villain, you will get a critical attack from time to time, and the number of villains will greatly increase. Then, next, Sumo sat at the headquarters of the Holy See. 3 days in a row. Finally, in the New Moon Kingdom, all the real protagonists in the list have been found out and solved. For some other protagonists who hide deeper, there is no way. Just have to wait for them to jump out on their own later. The harvest of pushing the Crescent Kingdom this time is huge. In just a few days, the protagonist who was secretly found by Sumo's intelligence organization in the New Moon Kingdom was wiped out. There are, of course, many misunderstandings here. There are thousands of people in the list that Nancy provided to Sumo. But in the end, the real protagonists, there are dozens of people. If you find the wrong one, naturally all of them will be put back along with some other people, and each person will get 20 silver coins. This wave of action, in addition to achieving the purpose of Sumo, is also a good harvest for the Holy See of the Crescent Moon. Those gangsters and robbers who were lured by Sumo and signed a demon contract were all caught. Some were found by Sumo, and some other demons, our dark sons of the devil, were also found. In addition, this wave of New Moon Holy See also caught some other people who were bewitched by demons. The devil has never given up infiltrating the world of the gods. The Crescent Kingdom has a population of over 100 million, and the productivity of this world is relatively low. Even the goddess of the new moon, there is no way to guarantee that everyone is his own believer. After all, she can't be truly radiant. Some unhappy civilians, or some people with bad intentions, are easily bewitched by the devil and become the secret son of the devil. When the devil wants to cause trouble on a large scale, these dark sons can come in handy. Now, through this operation, a very large batch of these dark sons has been cleaned up. This time, we caught so many people who were bewitched by demons, and the results were remarkable. Yes, the atmosphere of the whole kingdom is clear, the goddess will be very happy. It's all due to the Son of God. At the headquarters of the Holy See of the Crescent Moon, many bishops are happy for the harvest of this wave of actions. On the side, Su Mo, who was sitting at the headquarters of the Holy See, was silently counting his gains. This wave has yielded a lot. The number of protagonists who have been dealt with is a total of 52 people. Among the 52 protagonists, one is silver, and the other 51 are bronze. After all, there are more protagonists at the bronze level. Silver level protagonists are not only fewer in number, but also tend to be easier to hide. Su Mo estimated that the other silver level protagonists in the New Moon Kingdom were likely to have sensed the crisis after Lance was killed, and then slipped away. Although there is only one silver level protagonist, the harvest this time is also very good. In the first 10 protagonists, the villain value did not have a crit. The villain value provided by these 10 protagonists is used to upgrade the crit talent to the gold level. Gold level crit talent. The crit multiplier for ordinary harvest is 3 to 10 times, the specific crit multiplier depends on luck. The crit multiplier for the villain value is half of the normal harvest crit multiplier. In total, after the other 41 protagonists were critically hit, Su Mo got a total of 12,800 villain points. One wave directly broke through 10,000. The silver level protagonist has 4 times the crit, which is very good, and got 2,000 villain points. The other 40 protagonists also crit 2 to 3 times respectively, and the highest one, crit 5 times. This wave not only made the villain value that Su Mo can control directly exceed 10,000, but Su Mo also got all the gold fingers of the 52 protagonists. Gold level villains. The difficulty of obtaining the protagonist gold finger is further reduced, and Su Mo can directly obtain gold finger without using the power of the demon to strip it off. 52 gold fingers of various types. However, there is no ring flow. The protagonists of the ring flow often do not stay in the same place for a long time, because they have to look for opportunities everywhere. There are more than a dozen systems, some are talented, and some are special abilities. For example, the gold finger with a protagonist is a bronze level super brain. That is to let the brain have the computing power of the super brain. The protagonist uses his super brain to learn magic, which is not ordinary fast. It is equivalent to learning magic in a scientific way. If it weren't for the limited speed of absorbing magic power, this guy's strength would be very terrifying. Super brain. Su Mo whispers. This gold finger is not bad. However, for him at the demon god level, the effect was not as big as he imagined. Su Mo is also a demon god who is good at spiritual aspects, and the development of the brain itself is very high. There is no stupid person who can become a god. Even a stupid big man like the long-nailed demon god, its brain is equivalent to a super computer. Some powers, such as the power of rules, the condensation of divine power, the upgrading and strengthening of the divine body, and even the power of the divine, are incomparably complicated. If you want to figure them out, you don't know how many years you need to calculate with the most advanced computer before crossing. No, it can't be counted, because it is not a dimensional thing. God can master these powers, how can the brain be bad? Of course, the operating mode of God's brain is not the same as that of a computer after all. Once this super brain has been upgraded, it's not bad. In addition to the protagonist of this super brain Goldfinger, there is also a protagonist Goldfinger which is very interesting. The right hand of the protagonist has mutated, which can extract attributes from some objects and transfer them to other objects. Some active properties can even be transferred to yourself. This gold finger is very similar to the extraction system of the protagonist of Sweeping Sangha. But there are some differences. This gold finger can be used to strengthen objects. For Su Mo, it all plays a big role. Ordinary items, no matter how they are strengthened, are still the same in Su Mo's eyes. But what if it's an artifact that's hard to strengthen itself? It is a pity that the gold finger of the protagonist is bronze level, too advanced, and the protagonist cannot extract it. There is no way to extract too much harvest, and the amount of extraction is still limited. Otherwise, his growth will be faster than the Sangha protagonist. Besides, the other protagonists are mostly talented. Only the protagonists of the talent flow prefer to develop in one place. Especially in the School of Magic. During this period of time, these protagonists of talent flow were frightened by sumo, and they all showed their talents in the Magic Academy and were taken seriously. Basically, every talent stream protagonist has a teacher above the forbidden magic level. They don't know, it was because they were so eager to show that they were discovered by sumo's people. In the Magic Academy of the New Moon Kingdom, in just a few days, so many magicians with extraordinary talents have emerged. There is a problem with thinking about it. After taking stock of these gold fingers one by one, sumo began to incorporate and integrate. There are more than 60 gold fingers that have not been included. Most are gifted. Magic talent is the most. For example, the bronze level ice magic talent, the protagonist with this talent, the ice magic talent is quite terrible. When you practice ice magic, you can get twice the harvest. Equivalent to 2 times the crit, but only for practicing ice magic. The only silver level protagonist who was killed this time had the silver level fire magic talent. His fire magic talent is more terrifying than the bronze level, and he also has a very high affinity for the fire element. At the same time, he can gain 4 times the harvest by practicing fire magic. These magical talents, sumo did not incorporate. There are more than 60, all of which are included, and they cost 7 or 8,000 villains. Now that he is a god, and his bloodline is terribly high, there is not much demand for these magical talents. Therefore, sumo plans to keep all these magical talents, and wants to become a legendary villain in the future to see if there is any new authority that can deal with these magical talents. On the contrary, it is the divine talent inside. Sumo collected 2, and then merged with the divine talent that he has. This is good for him to enhance the divine energy. This divine talent can also allow sumo to gain multiple harvests when practicing divine power. I don't know if it can be superimposed with the crit talent. Then, sumo incorporated a silver level extraction system. There is also the bronze level ability that allows the right hand to extract attributes, costing 600 villain points. After being incorporated, sumo quickly discovered that the newly added authority of the gold level villain could fuse 3 gold fingers with similar functions. The bronze level ability to pick up the attribute system, the extraction system, and the right hand attribute extraction attribute can be combined to form a new gold finger with the ability of 3 gold fingers. These 3 gold fingers have similar functions, but there are some specific differences. Then merge. Sumo directly fused the 3 gold fingers. After the fusion is completed, it becomes a silver level gold finger, the right hand of God. This is the name that sumo took. In the future, his right hand can pick up attributes, extract energy from items, and extract attributes from some items. The level is still silver, and the villain value required to upgrade to gold is 4,500. Well, 500 less because of the fusion of 2 bronze level gold fingers. After the fusion is completed, in the future, there are similar gold fingers, which can be integrated to reduce the villain value required for the upgrade. After completing the fusion, sumo did not rush to upgrade, and incorporated the bronze level super brain again. After the compilation, sumo felt that there was still some improvement in the brain. It's 100 villains anyway. Looking at his villain value, there are still 12,000 points. There are still many gold fingers that are not included. Get 2 more gold ones. Sumo thought. Now, he only has a gold level crit talent. Have to get 2 gold level up. Sumo's eyes swept over his gold finger. There are many systems. There are 3 people who get stronger while lying down. There are several punch card systems and 3-point systems. There are also 2 reading systems, which can be obtained through reading and the ability in the book. It sounds good, but it is bronze. There is also a teacher system. When the teacher becomes stronger. Miscellaneous. After sweeping around, sumo decided to upgrade the right hand of God to gold first. The right hand of God, which combines 3 gold fingers, can pick up attributes, extract abilities, and read the ability of the system. In fact, this gold finger has it. So, sumo spent 4,500 villain points to upgrade the right hand of God to the gold level. The gold level, right hand of God, has changed a lot, and the frequency, harvest, and depth have greatly increased. After raising the right hand of God, Sumo's eyes swept across the villain panel again. There is also 7,500 villain value. Let's take a look at the Lord system. Sumo spent 500 villain points to incorporate the Lord system. After the collection was completed, Sumo looked towards the Lord system. After this system was incorporated by Sumo, it has returned to 0. Welcome to the Lord system. You have 3 chances to randomize the race. The higher the system level, the higher your prestige and the better the random race. A system prompt appears. Random race. Sumo thought it was a goblin. He ordered random. Load prestige. The system prompt appears. Load. Sumo said. Loading. Data too large, loading. A prompt appears. His prestige is not ordinary. I don't know how much prestige is in the New Moon Kingdom alone, and if this system can still calculate the abyss in the abyss. Then I don't know how scary it is. The prestige is loaded successfully. Your prestige level. 8. Prestige value. 350 million. Your luck value. 3,560 inches. Random race. 35. Congratulations, you got the lion race. The bloodline value is 25. Do you choose? Lions? There are 2 random ones. Anyway, to try this system usage, Sumo directly randomizes the remaining 2 times. Congratulations, you have obtained the Yeti. The bloodline value is 33. Do you want to choose? Congratulations, you have obtained the Beeman tribe. The bloodline value is 35. Do you choose? Pedigree value. It should represent the pedigree. I don't know what the bloodline value of that Bryn before. This Lord system is a bit interesting. Try to upgrade to gold level. Sumo pondered for a while, and raised the Lord system to the gold level. The random races in this system can all appear in the world of gods above board. This gave Sumo some ideas. So, Sumo chose to upgrade. The upgrade is successful, and the Lord system has been successfully upgraded to the gold level. A prompt appears. The Lord system has reached the gold level. The villain value remains at 2,000. Now, Sumo has 3 gold fingers. Crit talent. Right hand of God, Lord system. After upgrading to the gold level, Sumo found that the 3 random races in the Lord system were refreshed again. Look at the gold level Lord system. What races can be randomly selected? Sumo thought. Sumo chose random. Congratulations, you have obtained the Green Dragon family. The bloodline value is 58. Do you choose? Congratulations, you have obtained the Feathered Clan. The bloodline value is 66. Do you choose? Congratulations, you have obtained the High Elves. The bloodline value is 101. All races with a bloodline value over 100 are unique. Do you choose? In the Lord system, 3 messages appeared. An elves with a bloodline value of 101? It looks good. Just it. Sumo chose the elves. You have successfully selected the elves. You can choose the location, and place the Tree of Life. The Lord system prompt appears. Next, it should be a set of mainstream gameplay using this Lord system. After Sumo figured out the gameplay of the Lord system, he did not rush to use the Lord system. He used the remaining villain value to incorporate 2 silver-level punch card systems. 2 identical systems cannot be started at the same time. After being incorporated, Sumo found that these 2 identical systems cannot be started at the same time, only one can be loaded. So, Sumo decisively merged them. After the integration is completed, it is still the silver-level work card system, and the villain value of upgrading to the gold level is reduced by 500, and the reward will also increase. The system is very simple, and there are rewards when you punch in at work. The higher the position, and the higher the reward. Being a demon in the abyss. Is it work? Sumo whispers. When is he going to try it? I don't know, a silver level system can't afford rewards. After incorporating the punch card system, Sumo also incorporated the lying down and strengthening system, which is bronze. Then, he incorporated the silver level sign in system. The sign in system is simpler, and there are rewards for signing in every day. After this wave of collection, Sumo has more gold fingers. Bronze and silver grade gold finger, the harvest is still limited. Gold level gold finger still has some uses, especially crit talent. The Krypton gold system will be upgraded next time. Sumo thought. He originally planned to upgrade the Krypton Gold system. However, even the gold-level Krypton Gold system, after his bloodline has been upgraded, is not particularly helpful to him. Bronze-level Gold Finger, the corresponding strength limit should be legendary. Silver-level Gold Finger, the corresponding strength limit is around the Sanctuary. Gold-level Gold Finger, corresponding to the upper limit of strength between demigods and false gods. So, upgrade later. Mo, the oracle of the goddess, let us go to the temple. At this time, the Queen of the Crescent Moon came. Temple? Mo stood up and walked towards the temple with the Queen of the Crescent Moon. Not long after, the two appeared in the temple. After so many days of repairs, the temple has basically recovered its function. After entering the temple lights up. Immediately afterwards, the holy light hung down. A crescent moon descended. The Queen of the New Moon seemed to have received a new oracle, with a happy expression on her face. Mo, the goddess is coming. Really? On the new moon, a large number of light spots appeared. The projection of the new moon goddess came again. Like the last time, the goddess of the new moon still had a faint glow on her body. Appears to be holy. The new moon is slowly descending. Soon, come to the front of the Queen of the Crescent Moon and Mo. The Queen of the New Moon lowered her head reverently and did not dare to look up at the goddess of the new moon. Even if this is just the projection of the goddess. Mo is different. He was looking at the Crescent Moon goddess. Inexplicable. Mo feels. The goddess of the new moon seems a little unnatural today. The goddess of the new moon is really unnatural, because when she saw Mo and the Queen of the New Moon, she remembered the prayer of the Queen of the New Moon that day. The prayers of the Queen of the Crescent that day were not just about her when Mo. She also talked about how much she loves Mo. How sweet the taste of love is, poor God. She is just a pure goddess who has never been in love in her life. How embarrassed she was to hear these prayers from Queen Crescent. The key is, she could only pretend not to know. Otherwise, she doesn't know how to deal with it at all. After all, she is a goddess, and there is no abnormality in the face and tone of the new moon goddess. Mo, this time you did a good job. Many demon pieces in the kingdom have been found, eliminating many hidden dangers. The goddess of the Crescent Moon is a bit approachable in front of Mo. However, Mo's eyes kept on her, making her a little uncomfortable. Where can the sun and the goddess stare at God? But Mo is watching. If this is in other gods, this holy sun and holy girl will be abolished at light level, and will not live if it is serious. However, the goddess of the new moon couldn't get angry. Mo's eyes were clear, and there was no disrespect or blasphemy in it. Yes, just pure eyes. Pure. If you look closely, there is still a hint of appreciation. Is he admiring himself? Where does God need the appreciation of mortals? It's like, an ant praises an elephant is strong. The elephant doesn't feel any sense of accomplishment, but thinks the ant is too noisy. But don't know why. This glimmer of admiration in Mo's eyes, but for some reason, the new moon goddess has a hint of joy. But Mo looking at her like this made her uncomfortable after all. I said I'd do a good job. Opposite, Mo rode. After the goddess of the Crescent Moon nodded slightly to Mo, she looked at the Queen of the Crescent Moon again. Dorothy, do you remember the 5 counties and 20 cities that the Horton Kingdom snatched from you? Hearing the words of the new moon goddess, the eyes of the new moon queen couldn't help but get wet. Goddess, I remember. How could she not remember? At that time, both her father and brother were killed by the sanctuary assassins of the Horton Kingdom, and the Horton Kingdom took the opportunity to launch troops with several allies, and robbed a full 5 counties and 20 large cities from the Crescent Kingdom. These 20 big cities and the surrounding area are vast, and the population inside is as many as 10 million. Equivalent to 1/10 of the total population of the Crescent Kingdom. 20 cities in these 5 counties are now in the Kingdom of Horton and its allies. The goddess of the new moon stood up, walked in front of the Queen of the New Moon, stretched out her hand, and lifted it on her shoulder. Don't cry. Now, it's time for us to take back these cities. The new moon goddess said softly. The Queen of the New Moon was immediately excited when she heard her voice. She had been waiting for this day for a long time. However, the war between kingdoms is difficult to fight without the support of God. If the goddess of the crescent moon does not deal with the gods behind the kingdom of Horton and its allies, it will be too difficult for the kingdom of the crescent moon to regain the lost ground. Originally, Queen Crescent Moon thought she would have to wait for a long time, but she never thought, Goddess Crescent Moon is about to start. Goddess. Actually, don't worry, you spent so much energy last time. Although the Queen of the Crescent Moon was excited, she soon thought about the Goddess of the Crescent Moon again. Last time, when the Horton Kingdom took the opportunity to invade, the Goddess of the New Moon fought against the gods behind the Horton Kingdom and its allies, which cost a lot. In that war, she had more than one enemy. If it wasn't for the other goddess of the 7 goddesses of the moon revealing a little breath, which acted as a certain shock, the loss of the New Moon Kingdom would have been even greater. It's okay. The goddess of the new moon looked at Su Mo with bright eyes. I have Mo now, they are divided by Mo, he can't beat me. Hearing the words of the goddess of the new moon, the queen of the new moon couldn't help but look at Su Mo. The Horton Kingdom and its allies, after the war, when the benefits were distributed, were designed by Su Mo to make troubles, causing them to stalemate because of the uneven distribution of benefits. In addition, now Su Mo has become the son of the new moon goddess, capable of carrying the power of a pseudo-god. The confidence of the new moon goddess is so full. Mo, will you help me? The goddess of the new moon looked at Su Mo and said. Su Mo looked at the new moon goddess with pure eyes. Then, under the extremely surprised gaze of the queen of the new moon, Su Mo stretched out his hand and put it on the shoulder of the goddess of the new moon. Goddess, don't worry, no matter what happens, I will help you. Su Mo's eyes suddenly became serious. The delicate body of the new moon goddess trembled. Last time. She stretched out her hand and made an inviting gesture to show her sincerity. As a result, Su Mo held her hand in a handy way. Although the new moon goddess was embarrassed, she did not blame Su Mo. Because she really couldn't see any other meaning in Su Mo's eyes, she just thought that Su Mo was misunderstanding, or that her temper was too straight. But did not expect. This time, Su Mo went straight to her shoulders. Although this is her projection. However, when the will comes, Su Mo's action is no different from putting it directly on her shoulder. A holy son who dares to stretch out his hand and put it on the shoulders of God. This scene, in the world of gods, is absolutely impossible for any god to appear. But now, in this temple, appeared. Beside her, Queen Crescent's beautiful big eyes widened subconsciously. His mouth also opened subconsciously. Even she was taken aback by Su Mo's actions. She wanted to remind Su Mo, but under the shock, she didn't know what to say. That's a goddess. When the goddess came to projection in the past, the queen of the new moon did not dare to raise her head to face the goddess. Su Mo dares to reach out and put her hand on the shoulder of the goddess. Oops. The queen of the new moon suddenly thought of something. The expression on his face changed. Su Mo did this and made the goddess angry. What should I do? She couldn't help worrying about Su Mo, and as soon as she was worried, she was going to ask the goddess of the crescent moon 2.7 to blame Su Mo, so that the goddess of the crescent moon would not blame Su Mo. But haven't waited for the queen of the crescent moon to speak. The voice of the new moon goddess sounded. Thank you, Mo. What? The goddess is not angry. However, the voice of the goddess seemed a little restless. Okay, Dorothy, call your army, get ready, and when you're ready, we'll go. 5. The new moon goddess said. After speaking, her projection quickly dissipated. This speed. Like the wind. After the goddess of the new moon left, the queen of the new moon looked at Su Mo and wanted to say something, but couldn't say it. Let's go, queen. Su Mo grabbed the Queen Crescent's hand and said. Call. At the same time, in the heaven, a goddess who had just been frightened let out a long breath. She cast her eyes subconsciously again, and saw the scene in the temple where Su Mo was holding the little hand of the queen of the new moon. The goddess of the new moon withdrew her gaze and said, Sevi, come and press it for me. Yes, goddess. A little angel flew over and gently pressed her head for the goddess of the new moon. As a goddess, it is impossible to get sick at all, let alone have a headache. But now the new moon goddess, feeling. It is very difficult to be a god. Mo, it will take about 2 weeks to gather the army, and then send the army to the front line. You should take a good rest in these 2 weeks. It is best to let the magician help you to recuperate your body every day. The Holy See headquarters, the Queen of the Crescent Moon said to Sumo. After leaving the temple, the Queen of the New Moon realized that Sumo actually held her hand in the temple. Naturally, she was very happy, but she was worried that the goddess would blame her. At the headquarters of the Holy See, in public, she naturally did not hold hands with Sumo anymore. Okay, Queen, I'm going to go back to the territory for a few days to recuperate. You need to pay more attention to the affairs of the royal capital and the Holy See. Sumo said to the Queen of the Crescent Moon. Well, let me handle all these things, the Queen of the New Moon said. Immediately afterwards, under the arrangement of Queen Crescent Moon, the entire Crescent Moon Kingdom began to move with full force. This war is of great significance to the New Moon Kingdom. Reclaim lost ground. If possible, the Queen of the New Moon would like to charge a little more interest. Therefore, the Queen of the New Moon began to get busy, issuing a large number of Queen's decrees in a row, and summoning the army on a large scale. In the human kingdom of the world of gods, the composition of the army is quite complicated. Divided into several parts. One is the King's Guard, which is the most powerful army in addition to the Temple Knights. Second, some local garrison troops will not be transferred out of the garrison unless it is absolutely necessary. The third is that the nobles are armed. In every large-scale war, all nobles need armed soldiers to participate in the war. There are 100 barons, 500 viscounts, 1,000 earls, 2,000 marquis, and 5,000 to 20,000 dukes, depending on the rank of the dukes. First class and third class are different. The strongest fighting force is naturally the Temple Knights, but the number is also small. Kingdom-level wars often involve disputes between beliefs and population, and the Knights of the Temple will naturally participate in the war. By the time the Queen of the New Moon arranged these 11 things, Sumo had already left the capital. This time, the big move of the New Moon Goddess came at the right time. Sumo's original plan was to clean up these protagonists in the New Moon Kingdom, and after getting a few more gold fingers, he would find a way to get more divine energy. In order to add more light and dark power. Now, the goddess of the New Moon has come to this wave of big moves. One of the reasons why she is so confident is that with Sumo, she can come to the power of a pseudo-god at a very small price. The second reason is because this time, the demon chess pieces in the New Moon Kingdom are cleaned up. Although Sumo's purpose is to clean up the protagonist, he has also really cleaned up the demon dark pieces in the New Moon Kingdom. This eliminated a large number of hidden dangers, allowing the New Moon Goddess to dare to do it. Otherwise, the front is playing happily, and as a result, a large number of demons in the back run out to make trouble. That would be bad. This kind of kingdom-level war must be very fierce, and Sumo can take the opportunity to swallow a large amount of sacred energy of the New Moon Goddess. Anyway, he saved so much power for the New Moon Goddess. Without him, the goddess of the New Moon will come in person, and the power consumption will be much greater. Before that, the war of the Succubus dynasty to attack the Flint Abyss will start soon. Taking advantage of the time when the New Moon Kingdom was preparing for the war, it would be good to resolve this war. It just so happens that after Sumo's bloodline has been improved, his strength has also been improved, and if he operates well, he may be able to take down the entire Flint Abyss. After returning to the castle, Sumo returned to the Abyss. Opened the villain panel and glanced at it. On the villain forum, these 2 days are still talking about the news of Sumo. Obviously, Sumo used the power of the kingdom to clean up the protagonist of the New Moon Kingdom, not only in the protagonist forum. In the villain forum, it has also been rumored. After a glance, Sumo reappeared in the wild continent through a passage. Master, I've been exploring the east for the past few days, and so far I haven't found any abnormality in other tribes. Shi Wei's voice sounded. Sumo, it seems that there are not many leading protagonists. Go, Sylvie. Sumo gathered his strength and flew into the sky. Shi Wei followed, and soon, Sumo saw where the Cat People tribe was. The entire tribe was built under a cliff. The population of the entire Cat People tribe was about 5,000 or 6,000 people, making it a very large tribe. Brother count, after Sumo fell, the 2 cat-eared girls came up and were very happy. They didn't think about how Sumo got here so quickly. For them, Sumo is synonymous with omnipotence. Mia, Wei, tell me about the situation around here. Sumo asked about the two kitten ears. The two kitten-eared girls started chatting, and they knew a lot about the surrounding area. This area is close to the west coast, with high mountains and deep forests, and most of the people living in it are orcs. Orcs mostly exist in the form of tribes. In the wild continent, the location of this area is very remote, and the civilization is relatively primitive. Of course, the entire savage continent is quite primitive, and in some areas to the south or north, there are often some powerful creatures. After getting a general understanding, Sumo's eyes turned to a mountain in the distance. That mountain is just right. So, Sumo flew over with Shi Wei. Soon, they flew to the top of this mountain. Then, he opened the Lord system. Will the tree of life be placed? A prompt appears. Sumo chose yes. With Sumo's selection, a seed appeared. Soon after Sumo planted the seed broke out and grew slowly. This is the main building of a lord in the Lord system. Like the main protagonist who was killed, he was a goblin bred through the goblin altar. Different races are not the same. This time Sumo chose the high elves, the tree of life. The breeding method of the succubus was also optimized by Sumo. Many demons in the abyss have grown from different devil insects. The devil insect abyss, in the abyss, is equivalent to the womb. This is also the reason why the long-nailed demon god was so angry after Lilith robbed the demon worm abyss. However, after Sumo became a demon god, after his own bloodline evolved to a certain extent, he used his bloodline as a guide to let the succubuses breed through the tree of nightmares. As long as enough energy is provided to the nightmare tree can continuously breed new succubus. After Sumo's bloodline upgrade this time, he will soon be able to slowly affect all the succubuses, so that their bloodlines are also upgraded. What he has done with his own abilities is no less than this gold-level lord system. However, Sumo is a succubus after all and cannot create other races. This gold-level lord system can be used. The seeds of the tree of life grew very fast, and in a short time, they grew to a height of more than 10 meters. The level has come to level 1. Sumo looked at the panel of the Lord system, and there were a lot of tree species on it. Such as, the ancient tree of war, the fountain of life, the fountain of magic, the tree of miracles, the vine of flowers, and the dragon's nest. Ancient trees of war are defensive structures. The fountain of life can absorb the active energy in the air and restore physical strength after drinking it. The magic fountain can absorb the magic energy in the space and restore the magic power after drinking it. The tree of miracles is equivalent to the totem of the previous goblin lord, and it is also equivalent to the temple in the human kingdom, which is used to communicate with the gods. The elf dragon nest can be used to breed elf dragon, a small magical dragon. It is equivalent to saying that all the buildings of the elves are basically in the form of trees, springs, and wells. Building these racial buildings requires gold coins. In addition, there are great requirements for the level of the territory and the prestige of the lord. No wonder, the previous goblin lord was fighting everywhere, grabbing gold coins everywhere. He also treated the defeated tribes as slaves and used them as coolies. Gold. Sumo finds it interesting. What he lacked the most was gold coins. After Sumo glanced at the panel of the Lord system, a pile of sparkling gold coins was released directly from the space ring. The number of these gold coins is too many, piled up like a mountain. The whole mountain is a golden light. Then, Sumo started the operation. A lot of gold coins were thrown down. I saw that the tree of life began to grow rapidly, and in a short period of time, the tree of life grew into a towering tree hundreds of meters high. It only cost tens of thousands of gold coins. Then, Sumo opened the panel of the tree of life. After the tree of life grows, high elves can be bred with gold coins. The number of breeding depends on the level of the tree of life, and there is a certain breeding limit per day. The higher you go, the more gold coins you need, which is somewhat similar to the Krypton gold system. In addition, elves of different strengths require different gold coins. For example, Sumo saw that when the number of high elves reaches 1,000, it can cost 100,000 gold coins to breed an elf queen. 1,000. For Sumo, it's nothing at all. 100,000 gold coins. This price is not low, equivalent to 1 billion. But to Sumo, it was nothing at all. Sumo began to conceive. At the same time, gold coins are continuously invested to allow more racial buildings to be built. In a short period of time, a large number of ancient war trees grew up around this tree of life. Immediately afterwards, the ancient miracle tree was also built. There are also many vines of flowers, used to entangle all the trees, and their fruit will be good food. See Master. At this time, in the tree of life, the first elf had been conceived. The elves bred this time are all high elves with a bloodline value of 101. As soon as they were born, they worshipped Sumo. With the birth of the first elf, soon, the second and the third continued to be born. Sumo's gold coins are still many, and they are constantly being consumed. Soon, the number of elves that were bred had exceeded 100. Sumo is still putting gold coins in it. For him, the restriction of gestation does not exist at all. He can quickly increase the level of all buildings with gold coins, and the prestige of the Lord, Sumo is not to worry about. Still, Sumo felt too slow. There is only one tree of life, which is still too few. Like the nightmare tree, now the succubus have planted 100 of them. 100 nightmare ancient trees can breed a lot of succubus every day. Now the total number of succubus has almost exceeded 1 million. Of course, the nightmare ancient tree can't be like the tree of life, and it can continue to breed by investing gold coins. In this way, Sumo is constantly bred. A day has passed. Finally, the number of high elves reached 1,000. Can give birth to the elf queen. 257 Sumo invested 100,000 gold coins into the ancient tree of life. With the operation of Sumo, the tree of life is fully nurtured. Soon, an elf queen wearing a crown walked out. Meet the master. After the fairy queen was conceived, she gave Sumo an elegant salute. Do you have a name? Sumo asked. Please give me your name. The fairy queen said. Just call you Adele. Sumo said. Thank you for your name, Elf Queen Adele Road. After summoning the Elf Queen Adele, the number of the entire high elves has already exceeded 1,000. It's already quite large. What the protagonist of the goblin did with a lot of genius, Sumo did it easily in just one day. And if Sumo chooses goblins, he will probably summon more goblins in one day. Because the goblin bloodline value is low, there are fewer restrictions. The gold coins needed to breed a high elf can summon dozens or even hundreds of goblins. In one day, Sumo achieved such results through his money ability. If the system is smart, it is estimated that Sumo will be called cheating. As gold finger, it is used to cheat, but Sumo is already cheating, and cheating in cheating. Next, let's try it out. Sumo looked at the miracle ancient tree. Next, there is one more step. This ancient miracle tree can be used to find a backer for the entire tribe, that is, a god. After finding a backer, the people in the tribe will take that god as their belief. What Sumo has to do now is to use this ancient miracle tree to communicate with himself. Be the god of this tribe yourself. Once this step is completed, Sumo will be able to gain a steady stream of beliefs, and if he can turn these beliefs into celestial powers through the divine side of the succubus lineage, then he will have a steady stream of income. Even, he can enter the heaven with this, and become a heavenly god in a fair and bright way. Try it. Sumo started Miracle Ancient Tree. At the same time, his succubus bloodline has also been released. However, this time, his succubus bloodline showed the divine side. In his body, all the dark powers have been hidden. That drop of light and dark divine power has also been converted to the divine side. Then, Sumo sensed with all his strength. Soon, due to the directionality of the ancient miracle tree, he felt the ancient miracle tree. And then, Sumo's will comes, and a successful contract is made. It worked. Stand up by yourself, but it's alright. Have you received the summoning order from the Queen of the Crescent Moon? I want to send 1,000 warriors to fight. Is this going to start a large-scale war? I got it too, it looks like it is. Sigh. It's really tiring in the New Moon Kingdom, and after being dealt with like this by the Earl of the Blackstone Land, the remaining protagonists of the New Moon Kingdom either leave or hide more tightly. Yeah, The protagonist can still go, but we can't go to other kingdoms. When Sumo is in the Wild Continent, using the Lord system. In a villain group, some villains in the Crescent Kingdom are chatting. There are still some villains in the New Moon Kingdom, but the remaining villains are not high, and they are basically bronze-level villains. Most of them are nobles or heirs of nobles, and they have all received a summoning order from the Queen of the New Moon and must go out to the army to fight. With the spread of these villains, the news that the New Moon Kingdom was gathering troops and preparing for a big move spread on the villain forum on a small scale. Some villains around the New Moon Kingdom have noticed it. It looks like the New Moon Kingdom is going to start a war. I don't know which country it will fight. Needless to say, it must be to regain lost ground. F*K. I'm in the Kingdom of Horton, and most of the time I have to send troops to fight, and I will lose some of my strength. On the villain forum, some villains also discussed, especially the villains around the New Moon Kingdom. At the same time, in the New Moon Kingdom, some undiscovered protagonists are also secretly fleeing the New Moon Kingdom. Go to Hoden Kingdom first. I don't believe that his hand can reach Hoden Kingdom. One of the protagonists thought while fleeing towards the Kingdom of Hoden. The protagonist is better at hiding, and his gold finger level is not bad. It is a silver level point system. Running, exercising, swimming, practicing, etc. every day, as long as it is beneficial to the body, can bring attribute points. Such a system gives him a lot of freedom. As long as you hide well, you can grow up sooner or later. The protagonist is now ready to go to Horton Kingdom to develop, lest Sumo come again. The current Sumo, in the New Moon Kingdom, is an invincible existence. No protagonist or villain can match Sumo. God's name. Let's call it the Eternal God, and when I reach the level of the Lord of Power, I will change it to the Eternal Lord. In the Wild Continent, Sumo whispers. He gave himself a divine name from the heavens. In the Abyss, the names of gods are not important, and many demon gods are directly named after their own races. However, the gods of the heavens will have a god name, such as the goddess of the new moon. Another example is the Silver Moon Goddess and the Sheui Goddess among the 7 goddesses of the moon. The name Sumo took for himself was the god of eternity. Can't be called master yet. The gods who are qualified to be called master level are all powerful gods who have mastered absolute power and become the master of power. The power of the Lord of Power has far surpassed that of many innate demon gods. After Sumo's lineage evolved, the path he took was different from that of other gods. He was in no hurry to take power. Right now, the most important thing for him is to increase the light and dark power in his body. Following Sumo's order, the ancient tree of miracles gave off a faint glow. In this newly born tribe of high elves, all elves know that the God who shelters them is the supreme eternal God. It is also the master who created them. Adele, this is for you. Let me know if there is anything. Sumo handed Adele a black message stone. Yes, master. Adele said respectfully. Sumo left a lot of things, such as food and the like. At the same time, a lot of gold coins were spent to build some tree houses for the elves. After this was done, Sumo asked Shi Wei to guard the elf tribe in secret for some time. When the elf tribe is stronger, it can start to expand to the surrounding area. Based on this elf tribe, Sumo wants to open up a kingdom in the Wild Continent. After doing this, Sumo went to the cat people tribe again. Then, Sumo took 2 cat ears to the elf tribe. When they saw that such a powerful elf tribe suddenly appeared on this mountain, the 2 cat ears were very surprised. With little effort, the 2 cat-eared girls decided to take the god of eternity as the god of their tribe. Sumo also built an ancient miracle tree in Cat-Er-Neong's tribe. The ancient miracle tree grows very tall, and its function is that of a totem or a temple. Can be used to collect beliefs. So, on the first day that the leading system was used by Sumo, Sumo had thousands of followers. This is not a follower of the demon god. Rather, it is a believer that Sumo possesses after converting his bloodline to divine attributes. The faith contributed by such believers can be used to condense the divine power of the heavens. It should be fine. Sumo thought. Whether it will work or not will be known only after the belief is formed. After doing all this, Sumo left here and returned to the abyss. Prepare to help a few core succubuses to improve their strength in order to cope with the next dynasty war. At the same time, Sumo has to go one step ahead and expand a few more passages so that the army of the succubus dynasty can come faster. Otherwise, it would take a lot of time for millions of succubus, tens of millions of servant demons and cannon fodder to come to the battlefield. In addition, Sumo is also preparing to use the right hand of God to extract some attributes and use it to strengthen one of his weapons. The right hand of God is very easy to use and can extract attributes from almost all objects. For example, then a rock, extract the hardness attribute. From ordinary iron, the toughness attribute is extracted. The number of single extractions is actually not large, but Sumo's continuous extraction can make his weapons not small. During this process, Sumo decisively loaded the clock-in system for work. He wants to see. This small silver level system can't afford rewards. You have loaded the clock-in system for work, and your current position is Succubus Dynasty's Succubus God. You have completed the first day of check-in, and the reward is being calculated. Your position exceeds the limit of the silver level system, only the maximum reward that the system can give, 2 advanced experience books. After the check-in in the afternoon of the first day, the prompt of the check-in system appeared. After seeing the prompt, Sumo was a little speechless. A small silver level system really can't afford rewards. Only 2 advanced experience books were given. Oh, no fun. Sumo didn't care, and continued in the abyss, ready to wait for the check-in for 7 days to see what rewards this check-in system would give. He'll be here for some time anyway. During this process, Sumo worked on the Lord system every day. He didn't need to stay there. Sumo just needs to let Shi Wei stay there. This gold-level Lord system can naturally be controlled remotely. Every day, Sumo invests a lot of gold coins to breed elves. The elves have been nurtured in a steady stream. The next day the check-in was over, and the check-in system still only gave the maximum reward that could be given, a skill experience book, and a magic crystal. At the end of the 3rd day, the check-in system gave a bottle of advanced magic potion. In this way, Sumo stayed in the abyss for the 7th day in a row. 7 days have passed, and the number of high elves has increased rapidly, reaching several thousand. It was twice as much as the half-month accumulation of the goblin protagonist. If the difference in quality is counted, it is hundreds of times more. Their number is about to reach the upper limit, because the territory is limited. Coincidentally, the weapon that Sumo sent a succubus has arrived, allowing them to expand to the surrounding area. 7 days have passed, and if the punch-in system works, it is estimated that it will collapse. As a silver-level punch card system, its rewards are actually limited. Sumo's reward for punching in once a day is immediately capped. You know, the average protagonist clocks in for a month, and I am afraid that he will only get the reward of punching in Sumo for 1 day. As a result, Sumo can get such high-quality rewards every day. Look at what rewards you can give today. Sumo completed the 7th day of punching. You complete a week's check-in and get a weekly card reward. Insufficient rewards will be made up in quantity. You get a pair of high-level magic armor, you can customize the form, you get a sword skill, you get. The system prompt appears. Good guy. Really can't afford to play. The rewards are not enough. The rewarded magic armor is still barely enough. It can defend against the attacks of the sanctuary, and Sumo can use it for his subordinates. In addition, this sword skill is also useful. Sumo thought of that little lowly who wanted to be a juggernaut. Well, it should be good for her. After the 7-day check-in, in the abyss, the Succubus dynasty had already made all preparations for war. In the entire Succubus dynasty, dozens of huge space gates were erected. Millions of succubus and tens of millions of servant demons are already ready to go. However, that night, a piece of news detonated the protagonist and villain forum. That, Li Jiao, is, 1 month after the start of this confrontation game, the ranking of the first protagonist and villain will be announced early tomorrow morning. 666, the ranking is finally going to be announced. Will it affect my stability of the last-to-last ranking? Comrade, please don't steal my lines. Deleted. Let me say ~operator. 555, it's been a month. I just killed a protagonist. Many protagonists feel that they have developed. If this continues, I feel very suspended. The forum immediately became lively. After Sumo's eyes swept across the forum, he didn't care too much. He withdrew his gaze from the villain panel and flew into the sky. Unleash all the power on your body. Boom. The entire abyss was shaken. Immediately after, dozens of space doors opened at the same time. As soon as the space door opened, Sumo attacked. Boom. His attack rushed out from dozens of space gates at the same time. At the same time, Flint Abyss. Space fluctuation, bad sentence. A powerful Demon King's face changed. Next second, the terrifying attack smashed the space violently, and the Demon King fluttered his wings and wanted to escape, but it was too late. Hit directly. It disappeared in an instant. Immediately after, a large number of servant demons rushed out of the space gate crazily. Invasion. In the distance, those demons let out a shrill cry, accompanied by the shrill cry of the demon. Among the dozens of space passages that were forcibly opened by Sumo, at the same time, countless servant demons and abyss creatures rushed out frantically. Countless, really countless. The number is terrifying, densely packed. From a distance, it looks like hundreds of millions of locusts. It looks so terrifying. Every second, tens of thousands of servant demons and abyss creatures rushed out. In a short period of time, the number of servant demons and abyss creatures that rushed to the Firestone Abyss has reached several million, and this number is still increasing wildly. Kill them all. The demons stationed in the Firestone Abyss did not hesitate. Under the leadership of the powerful demons, in the sky, the densely packed demons rushed towards the army of the Succubus dynasty. On the ground, a large number of servant demons and abyss creatures also stood over. I'll go. When I first came to the abyss, I encountered such a big scene. When the army of the Succubus dynasty rushed out, a voice sounded from a barren mine in the Flint Abyss. This voice came from a human being. This human is also a protagonist. His system is a bit special. It is a silver-level live broadcast system. This system allows him to broadcast live to all protagonists on the forum. During the live broadcast, the more people watching, the more active, the more satisfied, and the greater the mood swings, the more live broadcast points he can get in the lucky draw. If his system is upgraded again, it will be able to broadcast live to more people. This live stream protagonist has been live streaming on the continent of the gods before. However, everyone is a traveler, and although some people watch his live broadcast, not many people watch it. Fortunately, he discovered a giant dragon before, and after the live broadcast, it attracted the attention of many people. As a result, I got a wave of live broadcast spots, and after the lottery, I accidentally got a camouflage clothes and a random teleportation charm. This teleportation symbol is not one way, it can be used twice, once for the past, and once for the back. After the protagonist of the live stream used a random teleportation charm, he happened to be teleported to the Flint Abyss where the space was loose because of Sumo's attack. After discovering the abyss, the protagonist of the live stream became a little scared, but immediately felt that this was his chance. No one is watching the live broadcast of the World of Gods, what about the one in the abyss? So, the protagonist of the live stream put on camouflage clothes, disguised as a little devil, and started the live broadcast. Really. The live broadcast in the abyss, on the forum, attracted the viewing of many protagonists. The scene in the abyss is the first time these protagonists have seen. Seeing that it attracted a lot of attention, the protagonist of the live stream thought about it, and spent 1 point of protagonist value to put his live broadcast room on the villain forum. The bronze-level live broadcast system cannot yet be placed on the villain forum. But his silver-level live broadcast system can already be done. This time, his live broadcast room also attracted a large number of villains. Through his live broadcast room, it is rare that both the protagonist and the villain appear at the same time. People watching the live stream haven't discovered this yet. Everyone is looking at the different scenery in the abyss. At this time, in the Flint Abyss, there was a violent shock. Immediately afterwards, the protagonist of the live stream saw the space channel wide open, and countless servant demons and abyss creatures rushed out. The protagonist of the live stream was stunned at once. He didn't expect to encounter such a big scene as soon as he reached the abyss. F***ck, Is that a locust? The anchor, bring the camera closer and let's see. Stop shouting. It's definitely not a locust. This is a war in the abyss. The scale of the war is probably not small. The anchor should run quickly, and finally watch a live broadcast, don't die. I'm going. The protagonist and villain are in this live broadcast room. Protagonists, come. Let's start a group. 2 in the live broadcast room of the protagonist of the live stream. Other protagonists also spoke. There are also some villains. After the initial fright, the protagonist of the live stream watched the soaring number of people in the live broadcast room and realized that this was a huge opportunity for himself. If you use it well, he can get fat, but you can get a lot of live broadcast points. Seeking wealth and risk, fighting for it. This guy looked at the distance and found that his place was far away from the battlefield, and at the same time it was relatively high, and there were no demons. Simply the perfect location. So, this guy aimed the camera at the battlefield, and his camera was naturally not handheld, but realized through the system. Although the battlefield is far apart, it is very clear. The other side. In a short period of time, millions of servant demons and abyss creatures rushed out. The dense pressure unfolded, overwhelmingly rushing into the depths of the Flint Abyss. And in the Flint Abyss, millions of demons and abyss creatures rushed over. Boom. The 2 black torrents collided violently. I don't know how many abyss creatures turned into powder in this collision. In the rear, more abyss creatures rushed forward. In the sky, the demons vibrated their wings, and they were also massacred in the sky. From the very beginning, the battle became extremely fierce. On the other side, a huge army of demons also rushed over. This is an army from another demon dynasty. The current Flint Abyss is dominated by 2 powerful demon dynasties. These 2 demon dynasties have tens of millions of demon armies stationed in the Flint Abyss. Of course, there are not all demons here, there are also a large number of servant demons and cannon fodder. In addition, there are a large number of abyss creatures that mine magic stones in the Flint Abyss. 2 armies rushed to the army of the Succubus dynasty at the same time. Collision with the army of the Succubus dynasty. Ha ha ha, die for me. A powerful demon laughed and slaughtered among the servant demon army of the Succubus dynasty. Every time he made a move, thousands of servant demons were directly killed. The strength of this demon has almost reached the level of a demon king. In a short period of time, it killed tens of thousands of servant demons. This guy was so excited, he was laughing, all of a sudden. The guy held his head and yelled, next second. This powerful demon, which is equivalent to a legendary mage, had his head exploded like a watermelon. A succubus with an incomparably hot body and a pair of black armor suddenly appeared, and it was she who killed this powerful demon. Directly with the mental shock, the opponent's brain was squeezed out. After this succubus appeared, his hands moved, and a large number of demons instantly fell into chaos in the sky. I saw a demon laughing loudly, wiping the weapon in his hand against his neck. The 2 demons didn't know what they saw, they twisted each other's claws and broke each other's necks. The demons in a large area were completely plunged into chaos, and in a short period of time, they killed each other. Immediately afterwards, more succubus rushed out. There were more servant demons also rushed out. In the Firestone Abyss, the demon armies of the 2 dynasties stationed here will soon be unable to withstand it. Not only can it be unbearable, but the demon armies of these 2 dynasties can't even escape. F***ck, so powerful. Is this the scale of the war in the abyss? This scale is terrible. Scary. What kind of demons are those, so enchanting? Succubus, it's definitely a succubus. These succubus are so powerful, look, the demon on the opposite side can't do it. At this time, in the live broadcast room of the protagonist of the live stream, the protagonist and the villain are no longer on the line. Everyone talked about the war. In fact, the scale of this war is beyond their imagination. Even the traversers, they have never seen so many lives appearing on a battlefield at the same time. However, right now, they don't even know how big the scale of this war is. Until the entire Flint Abyss shook violently again. Boom. Immediately afterwards, 2 huge space doors fell heavily. At the same time, on the other side of the Flint Abyss, a large number of space passages were also opened. Inside, A large number of demons and abyss creatures rushed out frantically again. The protagonist of the live stream was shaken, and when he turned the camera, he saw the scene on the other side, where a large number of demons rushed out. The mouth of the protagonist of the live stream opened again. Queen, the support of the fallen dynasty and the Barlow dynasty has arrived. In the Succubus dynasty, Barbara quickly received the report. Let's go. It's our turn. Seeing that the support of the two demon dynasties arrived, Barbara fluttered her wings and quickly rushed into the passage. Behind her, other succubus rushed in. Opposite, in the Flint Abyss, the support of the two dynasties is still coming. And their demon army stationed in the Abyss of Flint is also retreating frantically. Some powerful demons still withdrew, but the millions of demon servants who were used as cannon fodder were completely wiped out because there was no way to withdraw them. After the arrival of the support of the two dynasties, they did not attack immediately, but continued to gather. As if there was a tacit understanding, the army of the Succubus dynasty was constantly rushing out and gathering. In the Flint Abyss, on the huge battlefield, the armies of both sides are constantly gathering. It's so dense that you can't even look at it at all. Tens of millions of abyss creatures gathered together, and the fronts drawn were hundreds of kilometers. It looks so magnificent. There are demons and servant demons everywhere. Above the Succubus army, Barbara, the queen of the Succubus dynasty, stood there, followed by millions of succubus. Her strength is the most powerful in the Succubus. With Sumo's improvement at all costs, Barbara's strength has already reached the level of a demigod, and she is only a short distance away from a false god. In the case of using the bloodline skills, her combat power can even reach the pseudo-god level in a short time. This is why Sumo is so relieved that she is in the Succubus dynasty. Even if a demon-level enemy strikes, as long as Barbara uses the magic circle that covers the entire abyss, she can resist for some time. On the opposite side, the kings of the Sinking dynasty and the Barrow dynasty have also descended on this battlefield. A powerful aura stirred up and confronted Barbara. Neither side spoke, but faced off at high altitude. Below, the armies of both sides are still rushing out. Grandma's bear. How many people are there? It's terrible. I feel like there are at least tens of millions. More than that, there are more than tens of millions on one side. Look at how far this battlefield has drawn. Adding up, I am afraid it has exceeded 100 million. Hey. FCK Abyss's handwriting is so big, it's going to come and go at every turn. Billion miles, billions of gas. This should be a dynastic war in the Abyss. In the Abyss, all the people are soldiers. Unlike humans, even if a kingdom has a population of over 100 million, only a few can participate in the war. The final scale of the war is only a few million. It's scary. And what's even more frightening, I learned from the Holy See's information that such a war usually involves the participation of demons. Hey. Demon God. In the live broadcast room of the protagonist of the live stream, the scale of the war also shocked all the protagonists and villains in the live broadcast room. In the Flint Abyss, the armies of both sides are still rushing out. In terms of quantity, the army of the Sinking dynasty and the Barrow dynasty has surpassed the army of the Succubus dynasty. These two dynasties were able to occupy the Flint Abyss, which was rich in magic stones, and they were both exceptionally powerful. Each dynasty existed for hundreds of years. Unlike the Succubus dynasty, the existence time is too short. When it was discovered that it was the Succubus dynasty that attacked the Flint Abyss, the two powerful kings above the two dynasties were quite disdainful. Little Succubus also want to get a share of the pie? It doesn't matter, killing them all and letting their blood stain the red Flint Abyss will further increase the origin of the Flint Abyss. The fallen king and the Beluo king, one is angry, the other is calm. None of them, though, ordered the attack. Let the army of the Succubus king Chao rush out. This is partly due to the practice of dynastic warfare, and more importantly, they want to wipe out the army of the Succubus dynasty. With the demon blood of the tens of millions of troops of the Succubus dynasty, the entire Flint Abyss has been soaked. It can enhance the origin of the Firestone Abyss, and enable the Firestone Abyss to produce more magic stones. Above the Succubus army, Barbara stood there with a calm face. In this battle, no matter in the number of demons or the number of cannon fodders, the succubuses must lag behind the enemy. There are only over 1 million succubuses, but on the opposite side, the number of elite demons dispatched by the two dynasties added up to nearly 10 million. In terms of the number of servant demons and cannon fodder, they should also lag behind the enemy. Although they gathered tens of millions of demon servants and cannon fodder, the number of demon servants and cannon fodder on the opposite side added up. After all, in this war, the succubus dynasty is going to fight 1 against 2. However, how could it be easy to grab a piece of meat from these two powerful demon dynasties? Barbara was not at all afraid. In her eyes, this war, they must win. Finally, in the rear passage, no more demon army rushed out. The demon armies on both sides were already arrayed on the incomparably wide battlefield. Densely packed, countless. It looks like a large black blanket that has been laid for hundreds of kilometers. Really something amazing. In the live broadcast room, it was the first time that everyone saw this spectacular scene of hundreds of millions of lives gathered together, and everyone couldn't take their eyes off it. The protagonist of this live stream also bet right. This time, his live broadcast room attracted an unprecedented number of people. As long as the protagonists and villains received the news, they all came to watch. Say nothing else. The protagonist and the villain alone can appear in the same live broadcast room, and many protagonists and villains want to run over to confront each other. It's just that the protagonists and villains who were about to go to the line saw the pictures in the live broadcast room, and they were already too concerned about going against the line. Seeing that the army of the succubus dynasty has all come out, in the sky, King Sinking and King Beluo took a step forward. Barbara also took a step forward. Just one step. The distance between the two sides has already been pulled to within 10 kilometers. To the level of a dynasty lord, this distance is nothing at all. Then, King Barlow's will first shook the space and made a deafening sound. Succubus, Flint Abyss is not a place you can set foot on. King Barlow. What nonsense are you talking to her? I haven't tasted the flesh of a succubus for a long time. Little ones, attack me and kill them all. 5. The fallen king's temper was obviously more fiery, and he couldn't wait any longer. With its loud roar, all the demon armies in the fallen dynasty moved. The densely packed demons rushed out and rushed towards the army of the succubus dynasty. At the same time, the king of Sinking even shouted and rushed towards Barbara. Seeing that the king of Sinking was so irritable, King Barlow didn't talk nonsense anymore, and with all his strength, he rushed to Barbara. Below, the demon army of the Barrow dynasty also started. The dynasty-level war has officially started. All of a sudden, hundreds of millions of abyss creatures moved on this battlefield. In such a scene, the protagonists and villains in the live broadcast room were reluctant to blink. On the battlefield, seeing the armies of the two demon dynasties move, all the servants and abyss creatures of the succubus dynasties also rushed towards each other. In the sky, there are a lot of demons and servant demons rushing over. Seeing the armies of the two demon dynasties start, more than 1 million succubuses joined hands, and they all unleashed their incomparably powerful skills one by one. Spirit Storm. Charm. On the battlefield, an invisible terrifying storm swept over in an instant. These more than 1 million succubus are already very strong. What they are good at is mental attack, as they started. Immediately, those rushing demons and servant demons have been recruited. Such a large range of group skills, the scope of the spread is too wide. Even weaker demons and servant demons can't stand it at all. For a while, I saw that in the sky, after a large number of shocks, the demons and servant demons whose heads were directly shut down fell like raindrops. Below, those servant demons and abyss creatures who act as cannon fodder on the ground are even worse. On the entire front, among the two demon dynasties, all the servant demons and abyss creatures that rushed forward fell into chaos. After the succubus has gained general strength, the skills that are activated together are actually so terrifying. Look, the devil in the sky looks like it's raining. What's wrong? Those demons on the ground can't do it anymore, they're killing each other. I see, this must be the ability of the succubus. Is the ability of the succubus so terrifying? It's too good. It doesn't mean that the succubus can only be regarded as a medium level among demons. How can they be so strong? 9. In the live broadcast room of the protagonist of the live stream, everyone was stunned. The interest in discussion is also high. In fact, the performance of the succubus was too sturdy. With one skill, tens of millions of abyss creatures fell directly into chaos. Some protagonists and villains are still unclear at all. The difference between ordinary abyss creatures and servant demons and demons is regarded as a demon. In fact, the most common abyss creatures are not demons in the abyss. Demons, equivalent to the nobles in the abyss, are relatively few in number, but stronger in strength. This less is relative. The absolute number is still very large. Damn, kill her. Seeing that the skills of the succubus are so powerful. The King of Sinking and King Barlow, the lords of the two dynasties, changed their expressions and rushed towards Barbara. Behind them, there were some powerful demons who were not affected by group skills and rushed over. Seeing the King of Sinking and King Barlow rushing towards him, Barbara's expression did not change. The next second, her hands moved, and red light appeared in her eyes. Not good. The King of Sinking only felt that an invisible force slammed into his brain. King Barlow was even more influenced by Barbara's succubus eye, and in his eyes, he couldn't help but become confused. Barbara showed her great strength, and actually launched an attack on the two dynasties at the same time. The will of the king, crush me. The King of Sinking roared, facing the spiritual attacks of the succubuses. They either rushed in quickly and killed the succubus directly. Or, you can only fight against the attacks of the succubuses with a strong will. Now, Barbara's attack is like a monstrous flood. The power is amazing and the momentum is huge. In terms of spirituality, the King of Sinking cannot be compared with Barbara at all. But it only needs to stabilize its mind and condense all its will into one. It can be like a huge boulder in the big river, which is allowed to be washed away by the flood without moving the slightest. Stand still. However, the fallen king obviously overestimated its will. Under Barbara's terrifying blow, although its will was extremely tough, cracks appeared on it. Oops. The face of the fallen king changed greatly. In the next second, its will was defeated, and Barbara's terrible will rushed over. Boom. The King of Sinking only felt that his head was hit hard all of a sudden. If its strength is weaker, it will explode like a watermelon like the legendary demon before. The strength of this guy, after all, is very powerful. It has already reached the demigod level. This blow, although it severely damaged its brain, did not kill it. Death to me. The King of Sinking gritted his teeth and attacked from a distance. Barbara's expression remained the same, and with the movement of her slender fingers, a mass of green flames rushed out, blocking the attack of the fallen king. At the same time, it was an invisible spiritual attack, and it rushed towards the King of Sinking. On the other side, the mighty King Balor is still battling Barbara's bloodline skill, Eye of the Succubus. In the case that King Barlow could not support, the King of Sinking was almost madly abused by Barbara. Two waves of mental shocks made the King of Sinking feel that his brain was about to split. It wanted to charge close, but as soon as it charged, Barbara's mental attack was even sharper. And its far-off attack was directly blocked by Barbara. At the same time, on the battlefield, other succubuses have also released green flames. Succubus Flame. After Sumo created the Nightmare Tree, he didn't let the succubuses master too many skills. More than fine. The demon body of the succubus is naturally inferior to other demons. Thinking about it, their bodies, with their delicate skin, looked delicate. How could the body of a demon be comparable to those powerful demons whose muscles exploded and couldn't be hit with missiles? Of course, they are demons after all, and their physical strength is much stronger than that of humans. On the route that Sumo planned for them, specialize in mental attacks, and then strengthen the bloodline skills, that is, the ability to charm. Finally, it is the flame of the succubus. After more time, more other means will be added. This strategy is undoubtedly successful. After the upgrade of the succubus overall bloodline, in this dynasty war, as expected, it exerted astonishing power. At this time, the battlefield was already chaotic. No, it's one-sided. Barbara blocked the two dynasties with 1-2. The other succubuses did not lose out either, and the spiritual storm they launched caused more and more demons and servant demons to fall into chaos. After the army of the succubus dynasty rushed in, it was a one-sided slaughter. Roar. At this time, another assist arrived. In the sky, sparks appeared out of thin air. Immediately afterwards, the space shattered, and a powerful flame demon with sparks all over his body rushed out. This flame demon is too tall, several hundred meters high, and holds a long whip made of flames. "Hey, Master, I'm late." After the flame demon roared loudly, the whip made of flames swung violently in his hand. Pia sounded. "I saw that in the army of the fallen dynasty, hundreds of servant demons were directly thrown away, and then turned into ashes. The power of that flame whip is not ordinary terrifying. As soon as this Balrog joined the battlefield, the advantage of the succubus dynasty became even greater. Not only that, in the passage it jumped out of, more flame demons rushed out. This guy was found by Sumo in an abyss full of lava and subdued. It is not easy to conquer the flame demon. These guys will not easily recognize the master, even if they die. However, they can be subdued simply by finding their true names. With a strong mental power, Sumo found out the real name of this guy and made him think he was the master. In this dynastic war, with such a power, Sumo naturally will not use it. On this battlefield, the succubus dynasty is 1-2, but it appears to be incomparably powerful. Not long after the war started, the two demon dynasties were already on the verge of defeat. These succubus are so fierce. Yeah, with one enemy and two, it is so powerful. I am afraid there is no suspense in this war. No, there is a lot of suspense, and the demon gods behind the three dynasties have yet to make a move. In the live broadcast room of the protagonist of the live stream, the protagonist and the villain were extremely shocked. A war of this scale would be hard to imagine if you hadn't seen it with your own eyes. When seeing how powerful the succubus dynasty was, all these protagonists and villains were amazed. Boom. Perhaps the words of a protagonist in the live broadcast room came true. The entire Flint abyss shook violently again. Immediately after, in the sky, two looming huge figures appeared. These two huge figures have not yet fully appeared, and the terrifying aura has already made many abyss creatures on the battlefield tremble. After discovering that his demon dynasty may not be defeated, the demon gods behind the two demon dynasties finally appeared. "Hey, did you finally come out?" In the heights of the Flint abyss, Sumo finished speaking lightly, and his whole body was also agitated. Boom, the abyss trembled again. His figure also revealed his figure from the void. "Look, the devil is coming." In the live broadcast room, all the protagonists and villains looked at the three figures on the screen that belonged to the devil. She. It's terrifying. I can feel a strong sense of oppression through the screen. What if it was on the scene? The anchor, "Don't be a coward, you are far away, let's watch the battle of the demon god." In the live broadcast room, the protagonist and the villains were speechless when they saw the movement caused by the arrival of the three demon gods. On that barren mine, the protagonist of the live stream was already beating drums in his heart. Although he is still far away from the battlefield, after the arrival of the three demon gods, the atmosphere of the demon gods is overwhelming. Even if he is so far apart, there is a feeling that he is about to suffocate. Fortunately, soon, the auras of the three demon gods reached a certain balance under the collision of each other. The countless abyss creatures below also recovered from the oppression of the devil's breath, and fell into the war again. This is the horror of the devil. If there is no devil on one side, and the opposing devil just releases its breath, it can make ordinary abyss creatures lose their ability to fight. In the endless sky, after the sinking demon god and the Beluo demon god descended, Senran looked at Sumo. In the eyes of these two powerful demons, Sumo's breath was very unfamiliar. They have never seen Sumo before. I didn't know that there was a new demon god in the succubus. I thought it was Philos who was revived. It turned out to be a new succubus, or a man, so you got Philos' bloodline. The incomparably huge sinking demon god vibrated the space with his will and made a sound. Philos. Sumo heard the name, 273. This is a succubus and demon god in the abyss, and his strength is quite powerful. But he died in a war between the abyss and the heaven 100 years ago. When Philos died, her succubus dynasty fell apart. The succubuses lived miserably in the abyss. Until the appearance of Sumo, in his current succubus dynasty, he also took in many succubuses in the abyss. His bloodline did not come from Philos. Since you have set foot in the Flint Abyss, you only have two choices now. Demon God Balor also spoke. One is to leave your succubus army, we can let you go. The second is that we kill all your succubus army, and then destroy your succubus dynasty, leaving you with no place in the abyss. 99. How to choose is up to you. Demon God Balor looked at Sumo with confidence and made a rumbling sound. Although the strength of Sumo is not clear, but how strong a new demon god can be, there are two demon gods here. 2 against 1, their winning rate is 100%, no surprises. After finishing speaking, the breath of demon god Balor increased further, and the demonic energy almost condensed into substance, ready to deliver a fatal blow at any time. I'll start with the third, Sumo said lightly. Balor's gaze became dangerous, court death. It didn't ask what the third type was, and with a loud roar, the mountain-like weapon in its hand slammed across the space and charged towards Sumo. At the same time, the fallen demon god has also launched its attack. Abyss of Sinking, what are you doing when we talk so much nonsense, you can't move? With a move of the hands of the fallen devil, the heights of this battlefield in the surrounding space seem to have turned into a swamp. At this time, even if a false god enters this space, he will be trapped and unable to move. It will sink deeper and deeper until it is swallowed up. This is one of its unique skills, the Abyss of Sinking. This guy, when the demon god Balor was talking before, quietly performed this unique skill. The space around Sumo was wriggling, and this scene, seen from a distance, was extraordinarily amazing. As if the whole sky was squirming, is it? Sumo's faint voice sounded. Next second. With a flap of his wings, the squirming space around him shattered. Sumo's wings were once again, and he was completely out of the scope of the Abyss of Sinking. With a move of his hands, he launched a terrifying attack. At the same time, red light lit up in his eyes. Boom! His attack met the mountain-like weapon of demon god Balor, and he saw that the huge weapon was directly knocked upside down and flew out. Not only that, Sumo's attack was not exhausted, and after knocking off the weapon of the Balor, he continued to charge towards the Balor. God's attacks, especially those made with divine power, are basically lock-in. Worse than precision-guided missiles, it's not that you can't dodge, but it's very difficult to dodge. Roar. The demon god Balor didn't choose to hide, the magic armor on its body moved, and its fist turned into a huge iron fist, slamming into Sumo's attack. On the other side, after the Abyss of Sinking demon god was broken by Sumo, he was about to attack when he felt a change in front of him. Its eyes suddenly became dull. Around it, in the blink of an eye, countless cages appeared, trapping its consciousness firmly in it. If it can't break free, its consciousness will be trapped here forever. Its demon body will become an empty shell. Break me. The consciousness of the fallen devil made a huge roar, and all the consciousness condensed into one. The will of the demon god slammed into those cages. Boom boom, in its sea of consciousness, a huge voice sounded. The cages were broken layer by layer, but these cages are too many. Getting bigger and stronger. After the fallen demon god broke through the tens of thousands of layers of cages, his consciousness seemed to fall into an endless starry sky. All around is endless darkness and dead silence, boundless, without barriers, without boundaries. If you want to break through, you can't make a breakthrough. It realizes that this is probably a super cage that Sumo has created for it. It has to break here. Otherwise, all of its consciousness will be trapped here. Its demon body will also become a body. Even if its demon body is surging with power, it will survive thousands of years without any problems, and even a false god would not dare to approach it rashly. But in the case of trapped consciousness, it is not too simple for Sumo to destroy its demon body. The touch of sinking, break it for me. The consciousness of the fallen devil broke out, and the boundless tentacles rushed all around. This is its sinking touch. In this huge cage like a starry universe, countless planets were shattered by its sinking touch. Finally, it found a gap and rushed out. But as soon as it rushed out, it was even more desperate, because there was a bigger cage outside. These cages, layer after layer, kept appearing. One layer is bigger than the other, it must break all the cages to break out of Sumo's shackles. Otherwise, it can only count on the Balor demon god to defeat Sumo and rescue it. Look whether you clothe fast, or I break fast. 35. The fallen devil is not reconciled, roaring. The will of the devil rushes in all directions, it wants to break all the cages. Boom. When the consciousness of the fallen devil was trapped, Sumo's attack, and the iron fist of Balor, also collided. This guy's body of a demon is not small. Like the spikes, the Beluo demon is also a demon god who likes melee combat. In the abyss, most demon gods are like this. One by one, the gods are powerful, the skin is rough and the flesh is thick, and the body of the devil is also huge. Break me. Balor's iron fist had already hit Sumo's attack. Roar. In this guy's huge roar, the demon body of the demon god Beluo trembled. The magic energy around it shuddered evenly. Such a tremor caused some demons that were a little closer below it to tremble instantly. Thousands of demons exploded into blood mist in the blink of an eye. Abandoned. How come, in the next second, this guy took a few steps back. On its fist, the armor made of divine iron was cracked. Boom. Balor has just retreated, and Sumo's second attack has arrived. Roar, sink. What are you doing? Feeling the possible energy in Sumo's attack, Balor roared. A collision just now gave it a terrible feeling. Because, the divine aura contained in Sumo's attack made the demon god Beluo feel frightened. That divine power, in the sense of demon god Beluo, is far beyond its current level. Does this mean that Sumo, the new succubus demon god, has actually walked in front of it? At the level of the gods, every time one takes a step up, there is a world of difference in strength. It's an old-fashioned devil. Now, with Sumo's second blow, the demon god Balor feels that he can't stop it. It can only call the fallen demon god, but it doesn't know that the fallen demon has been trapped by Sumo's consciousness, trapped all his magic consciousness in one point, and is still trying to break through the cage set up by Sumo. Seeing that the fallen demon god didn't move, the Ba-Luo demon god could only roar and attack Sumo again. It's too late to take back its weapon. However, to the demon god Beluo, the body of the demon god is more powerful than any weapon. Boom. The attacks from both sides collided again. Although the demons below were hiding far away, a large number of demons were still affected and shattered instantly. Damn it. This time, demon god Beluo made an unwilling voice, flew upside down with a bang, and smashed into the army of demons below. I don't know how many demons and servant demons were killed. The flint abyss was even hit and shuddered. There was a huge hole in the ground. The cracked rubble rushed in all directions at a terrifying speed. Before some demons could react, they were pierced by a gravel and fell one after another. Broadcaster beware. A gravel just rushed towards the place where the protagonist of the live stream was. The guy's reaction was still fast, and his head hurriedly tilted to the side. The rubble rubbed his face and flew back. Boom. A cliff behind him was directly penetrated by the gravel, hitting a big hole. Although the density of this gravel is not large, it is not so easy to break because it is contaminated with the devilish breath of the devil god Balor. What a terrible power. The battle of the demon god level is too scary. If it spills over casually, it will be gone. Those demons are so innocent, they turned into blood mist before they could react. This is the true strength of the demon god. The demon god I saw last time in the new Moon King capital should have been suppressed. Wow. Brother, are you from the new Moon Kingdom? Why didn't you die? F*K. You just died. I'm the villain, a bronze level villain, and the Earl of Moishi Land doesn't look down on me. Seeing that the demon level battle is so exciting, in the live broadcast room, all the protagonists and villains watching are shocked, and there are many discussions. Ah, I'm going to kill you. Demon god Balor got angry, rushed out of the huge pit, and continued to rush towards Sumo. Boom. But right away, Sumo's attack, teaching it to be human again. Demon god Beluo let out an unwilling roar, and was blown away by Sumo again. Boom. In Barlow in the Fallen Dynasty, I don't know how many servants have been ruined. Boom. Sumo came down with another attack, and the demon god of Beluo roared again and again, but, under the terrible power of Sumo's light and dark power, this guy could only be incompetent and furious. There was a constant roar, although the voice was loud, but it had no effect. On the other side, the fallen demon god is still pounding the cage set up by Sumo. On the huge body of the demon god, although terrifying power is surging, but because his consciousness is trapped, this guy can only stand there. This succubus is so powerful. 1 against 2, this demon god is too terrifying. Why doesn't the other demon god move? Should be caught in some skill of the succubus and demon god, and got trapped. Isn't the succubus the best at mental attack? In the live broadcast room of the protagonist of the live stream, seeing Sumo with 1 against 2, trapped 1, and beat the other so that he could not fight back, all the people, one by one, were also extremely shocked. Boom. Demon god Beluo smashed to the ground again. In its demon body, the huge armor made of divine iron has been smashed to pieces because of the successive smashes. Damn it. Sinking. What are you doing? Demon god Beluo roared again and again, and it has been abused by Sumo. This guy is not stupid, and he also guessed that most of the fallen demons were attacked by Sumo's mental aspect. After shouting this loudly, demon god Beluo endured his injuries and fiercely launched the demon god's roar at the fallen demon god. Roar. A loud voice. This roar really worked. In the sea of consciousness, the trapped sinking demon god noticed that there was a flaw in the surrounding cage. Here's its chance. As an old-fashioned demon god, his grasp of fighter planes naturally goes without saying. The will of the fallen devil also roared, and with the help of the roar of the devil Beluo, its will turned into a big sword, and with a slam, it slashed into the boundless cage. Boom. Finally, with the help of the demon god's roar of the demon god of Beluo, its will successfully split the cage. Then, jump out. Finally see the sun again. The fallen devil is so excited. Although the actual time of being trapped is not long, the perception at the conscious level is different. In such a cage of consciousness, even if the outside world is only a second, the feeling inside is very long. The longer you get stuck, the harder it is to get out of trouble. Because the sleepy time is too long, the despair in the consciousness will gather together, and it will become a wall that you can't cross. However, now, the consciousness of the fallen devil has finally come out. You have successfully regained control of your body. Roar. Succubus demon god, I'm going to kill you. The fallen devil roared loudly, and the strength of his whole body was about to stir. It saw that a pitch black spear, carrying heart-pounding power, slammed over. Break me. Although the fallen devil has just broken through the cage, he has also mobilized all his strength and launched his own attack fiercely. Boom. The spear collided with the artifact in his hand. In the next second, I saw that Sumo's black long guns smashed its divine weapon with one blow, and with a slam, it pierced the huge demon body of the fallen demon. Ah! The fallen demon uttered a deafening cry of pain. The divine power within the body began to rush towards the wound frantically, preventing the erosion of the divine power carried on the black spear. Damn it! It was furious and also very unwilling. Because it felt that if it wasn't for its own consciousness being trapped, when it first got out of the trap, there was still some discomfort. How could it be so unbearable? Barlow. Under the heavy damage of the fallen devil, he was ready to call Barlow to fight back with it. But when he looked at it, he realized that the demon god Beluo had already been beaten horribly, and his armor was broken. There are injuries all over the body. If it weren't for Barlow's body of a demon god, he was born with rough skin and thick flesh, and he might have died. Sink. It's too strong, go. Demon god Beluo roared. Originally, it also expected to sink into the devil. However, after finally pulling out the fallen devil was shot by Sumo. There was a huge hole in the body of the devil. The impact on the fallen demon god's combat power is not generally serious. How to fight this? If you fight again, the two of them may have to explain it here. Walk. The fallen demon god is not reconciled, but it also knows that if they continue to fight, they will not be able to fight. The two demon gods gave the order to retreat. Roar. Demon god Beluo still wants to block it, otherwise all the demons in its demon dynasty will die here. Boom. But Sumo strikes again, hitting the guy roaring again and again. The fallen demon god is already withdrawing. This guy is afraid that Sumo will do it again. Don't delay, or you won't be able to leave. The fallen demon god began to feel bad, because at the wound, the divine power belonging to Sumo was like a poison, consuming its power like a madman. Walk. Seeing that in the two demon dynasties, the main demons have withdrawn, and the two demon gods can no longer drag them on. They roared and rushed in one direction. Not good. In the mine, the face of the protagonist of the live stream changed drastically. Because the direction these two demon gods rushed towards was exactly his direction. Although he was hundreds of kilometers away from the battlefield, the speed of the demon god was too fast, and a few hundred kilometers was nothing to the demon god. In desperation, the protagonist of the live stream directly used the teleportation charm. Otherwise, as soon as the two demon gods arrive, under the influence of the overwhelming demon god aura, they might not even be able to use the teleportation talisman. Because this guy is very decisive, the teleportation charm was successfully used. This guy has returned to the continent of the gods. I'm going. Why did the anchor run away? If he doesn't run, he will die, and the two demon gods are obviously rushing in his direction. I didn't expect that the succubus and demon gods could fight against two demon gods with one enemy and two demon gods could not fight back. This succubus demon god, among the gods in this world, is probably the most powerful one. Too strong. This live broadcast is worth watching. I want to become a god. I want to hang up all the villains. Oh, come on, I'll be waiting for you in the Holy Court Empire. 666, an imperial boss actually appeared? This FCK must be a gold-level villain, right? No, it could also be a small bronze like an earl in the Empire. In the live broadcast room of the protagonist of the live stream, it is still lively. Although he returned to the continent of the gods, the people in his live broadcast room did not leave. His live broadcast system consumes one protagonist value each time, allowing the villain to come in for 1 hour. There is still some time. However, the protagonist has not killed the villain, and now there are only 2 protagonist values, which can only be used twice. This time, this guy has gained quite a lot, and it is the most he has gained since the live broadcast for so long. In the abyss of Flint, Sumo did not pursue after seeing that the demon god of Beluo and the demon god of Sin had escaped. There is only 1 drop of his light and dark power, and the amount is too small. In the battle just now, more than half of it has been used up, and only a little is left. Without the power of light and darkness, although Sumo has enough confidence to defeat them, it is difficult to stay. Anyway, there is no way to stay. After driving away the 2 demon gods with powerful force, it will be enough. These 2 guys were not lightly injured this time. In addition, Sumo is too strong in this battle, and it is not so easy for them to make a comeback. The purpose of this dynasty war has been achieved. Because the power of light and darkness is too powerful, this dynasty war is even more rewarding than Sumo's plan. Originally, Sumo wanted to get a piece of the Firestone Abyss. But now, with the powerful light and dark power and the increase in strength brought by the upgrade of the bloodline, Sumo can monopolize the abyss of this rich magic stone. Kill them all. Barbara gave the order. The main demons of the Barrow dynasty and the Sinking dynasty escaped under the cover of the 2 demon gods. But the demon servants and tens of millions of cannon fodder they brought could not escape. Some weaker demons did not have enough time to escape. Barbara was not polite, and flew out to do it herself. After losing high-end combat power, the remaining demons and servant demons are not opponents at all. Originally, they were all crushed by the succubus. Now it's even more one-sided killing. High in the sky, Sumo sat on a throne made of divine power, watching the war silently. After a few hours, finally, all wars were over. Tens of millions of servant demons belonging to the 2 demon dynasties have been killed. The ground of the Flint Abyss was soaked by the demon blood of these servant demons and abyss creatures. The origin of the entire Flint Abyss has been enhanced a lot. In the Abyss, different abyss are different, and the Firestone Abyss has special rules, so it can continuously produce magic stones. And like the abyss of demon insects, the rules are different, and it will be a paradise for demon insects to multiply. If a human who is afraid of insects goes to the abyss of demon insects, it is estimated that he will scare himself to death. A whole abyss of worms. Not fun. The magic insect itself is also the cornerstone of the abyss. Some extremely powerful demon gods were probably transformed from a small demon worm. The two demon dynasties originally planned to use the demon blood of the succubus dynasty to strengthen the origin of the Firestone Abyss, but in the end, the battle situation was completely reversed. The entire Flint Abyss was also under Sumo's control. After taking the Flint Abyss, there is still a lot of things to do. The first is to consolidate the entire space of the Flint Abyss, build a magic circle, and strengthen the defense here. These things take a lot of time. Sumo is not sitting there to rest at the height of the Flint Abyss, but analyzing the rules of the Flint Abyss, so that he can further increase his control over the Flint Abyss. The succubuses are cleaning the battlefield and building defenses. There are also some succubus who drive the abyssal creatures to mine ores. Roar, Master, we're leaving. The Balrog with a height of several hundred meters finished speaking to Sumo respectfully, and returned to the abyss where they were with a large number of Balrogs. There is a layer of fire element extremely rich, huge abyss. The entire abyss is a magma ocean, and the deepest part of the magma ocean is even tens of thousands of meters deep. This flame demon is not the strongest one there. According to it, in the center of that huge abyss, there is a demon-level Balrog. After the Balrogs left, Sumo was still sitting in Flint Abyss. At this time, he also saw a lot of posts about this battle on the villain forum, as well as some pictures or videos intercepted by the villain. Live stream Protagonist? Sumo whispers. His eyes swept around, and the other party had already left. He glanced at the villain forum again, where a large number of villains were discussing this matter. It is also discussing the power of the succubus. All of them are full of yearning for such power. After Sumo glanced over, he closed the villain panel and continued to analyze the rules of the Flint Abyss. And this time, on the Protagonist forum, the discussion has already been extremely lively. The live broadcast of the Protagonist of the live stream has long since ended. But the discussion is not over yet. Many protagonists are discussing the battle. This is the first time these protagonists have seen a god-level battle. It was also the first time I saw the power of God. In the New Moon Kingdom, although demon gods also descended, at that time the strength of the demon gods was suppressed. Only the power of the pseudo-god can be exerted. Moreover, there were not many people who saw it at the time, and the rest of the protagonists only learned about the battle from the posts on the later forums. This time, it was they who saw the demon god level battle through the live broadcast. Every protagonist is amazing. Demon god level strength is really too terrifying. In the battle that didn't last long, just the aftermath of the battle killed millions of demon servants. The power of God also makes all the protagonists speechless. Same. It's also what inspires the ambitions of these protagonists. Everyone is clamoring to become a powerful god. The most discussed by them is the extremely powerful succubus demon in the live broadcast screen. One enemy too, but strong crush. That is not to prevail, but to crush. Completely crushed. The two demon gods were beaten so hard that they were powerless to fight back in front of the succubus demon god. Not even a chance to fight back. From start to finish, you can only be beaten passively. Even if it weren't for these two demon gods being more decisive, after finding that they couldn't beat them, they decisively gave up that layer of abyss and escaped. I'm afraid I have to explain it there. How powerful must such a succubus demon be? This is called power. When will I be able to have such strength? No matter what villain you are, I will crush them all. I didn't expect that the succubus was actually a man. I always thought that the succubus was a woman. This is probably the special feature of this succubus. It's so violent, it's like rubbing two demon gods on the ground. I have decided that the succubus will be my idol in the future, and sooner or later, I will become a powerful god like him. Chong Chong. What is the villain? No one can stop me from becoming a god. The protagonist forums suddenly became extremely lively. After many protagonists were shocked by the power of the succubus and demon in the live broadcast, they all aimed at the succubus and demon, clamoring to become such a domineering god. In such a hustle and bustle, many protagonists slept very late this night. Even some protagonists have no intention of sleeping, especially some protagonists who practice magic and meditate all night. Early the next morning, around 8 o'clock, many protagonists and villains were on the forum. Because it will be the day when the first issue of the protagonist and villain rankings will be announced.